Then he talked about happiness and success and how merit is behind all things. He talked about people, for example, people who are wealthy or who have high status in life. Even if you want to be an arahant or a Buddha, essentially all of this depends on one thing, which is merit. So we have to understand the relevance of merit, what it is, how you get it, and why it's important. The Venerable compared it like this, that many people often think of themselves and think about how they do their good deeds, that they do good deeds often, but yet they're not seeing success come their way. And why is that? So it might make you not have confidence in your goodness, but don't despair. There's reason for everything. The Venerable mentioned that when it comes to merit, we have to realize that there's a balance that's in order. And he used a comparison that if you have $10,000 in your account, but if you want a Mercedes, can you buy it? And the answer is no, you can't buy it because there's not balance there yet. You don't have enough in order to get what you want. Well, when it comes to merit, the Venerable mentioned that, as we know, merit and boon are actually the same thing, but merit is actually an energy. It's a pure energy that even though we can't see, very similar to electricity, it's there, it's in nature. Just like electricity is stored in battery, the merit, essentially, merit energy, is stored in our mind, or in other words, it's stored at the center of the body. And how do we get this? How do we get merit? Well, we get merit simply by doing good deeds, and there are many different ways of accumulation of good deeds, but it all very easily comes into three main categories, no matter what you're doing, and that falls under acts of generosity, precepts, and meditation, which is something that most of us are quite familiar with. Now, when it comes to these three different types of goodness and energy, keep in mind it is stored within your mind at the center of your body. And the Venerable mentioned it's like a frequency, it's like a wave that, depending on what you do, it kind of flows into your mind, it flows into the center of your body, and it varies depending on your intention and how you feel as you're doing that good deed. So this brightness gets accumulated in your mind and at the center of the body. And the Venerable says that all of our success, it depends on this. It depends on merit, and it depends on boon. And this power, it actually is pulled towards you depending on what you do. And the Venerable said that this is how it breaks down. It's also like a magnet too. As you know, a magnet, it pulls its forces together, but we can't see it. It's the same power that's also within our mind. So the Venerable says that when it comes to generosity and giving, for example, this energy of just giving will pull good things to you, such as success and treasures, because it's a power and it comes from a result of the generosity that you're doing. The Venerable says that when it comes to precepts, the power that it pulls towards you is having good health and long life, because you're practicing different types of discipline that helps with regards to just benefiting you with regards to long life and good health. And meditation is the next one, and meditation will pull the power of wisdom and wit towards you. So this is the Venerable Dhamma talk with regards to the different powers that gets pulled towards you at the center of your body, and it's pure brightness. The Venerable mentioned that this brightness, it follows you throughout your existence, essentially. He says, unlike the body that you leave behind, the power of good deeds will follow you no matter what, and propel you into your next destination. And that's why understanding merit and understanding good deeds is so important, because when we know this, we'll be able to use our time wisely, because these things that we do in our life does affect not only things in this life, but in future lives as well, or in the future destination. So the Venerable talked about how this will help propel you into your next destination, being either happy or unhappy, depending on the deeds that you've done. And just like merit or and doing good deeds brings pure energy and pure brightness into your mind. The opposite is true when you're doing bad deeds and things that are not good. It actually attracts dark things into your mind, and these dark things actually cloud your mind and to propel you into a destination that wouldn't be so happy, because it actually makes sense. So in the end, merit is very important. Understanding merit is important to success, and your happiness actually depends on it, because certain things get pulled towards you because of it. It's something that you can do little by little, drop by drop, until it fills a jar and becomes overflowing and huge as well. And then the Venerable also left us with a couple of things, which is understanding the right way to do merit and how you can see its results. And the Venerable said there are different ways that we can see results even now. Sometimes we see the results of merit right away, and this isn't a feeling. Generally, when you're doing a good deed, you might be able to feel this brightness and happiness in your mind, and that's actually feeling the results of good deeds right away, and this is an example of that. And then other examples of the results of merit is that in the afterlife, which we can't see, but it does exist. And this type of merit that you can't see right away, if you were to transfer merit to those who've passed on, they receive it right away, but not until their afterlife. And then the Venerable said one last thing that he wanted to leave us with is that the merit that will follow us the longest, it depends on how bright our mind is when we're doing that good deed. But one thing that he wanted to leave us with is something that our abbot often shared, which is we might not see its importance, but once a month when we do the Lord Buddha sustenance, this is actually considered extremely meritorious. And this is the type of merit that is very highly recommended, because this is the type of merit that will follow you always into the ultimate destination, because this is the type of merit where you're honoring all of the Buddhas that have passed on into nirvana, and this is actually true pure power that can follow you always. And that's why the Venerable said that when you know about this, you should always come and do your best no matter what to at least come collect this merit, because you know it's pretty powerful. So this is the Venerable's Dhamma talk today. Essentially, all of success and happiness is dependent on one thing, which is merit and bliss. So at this time, I turn it back over to the Venerables, who will give us blessings.